I would say like nothing's impossible, and if you want it bad enough, then you can definitely achieve things that will surprise you.
Ethan, I am so freaking motivated right now. You guys, today we're having a conversation with our new good friend, Ethan Pringle. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Like there's no amount of strength that can make up for a lack of like technique and tactics and experience.
He shares with us what it takes to become a very strong and well-skilled climber. And you guys, he shares with us the video of his first ascent of a classic climb in Red Rock called Wet Dream. While we were talking, Ethan was mentioning to me that he's been climbing for over 30 years. You guys, 30 years. And I was mentioning to Ethan that I started at 30 years old, my climbing journey. And then we realized we're the same age.
Yeah, I was born in...
Yeah, 85.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wait, so
I'm
when's your
86.
birthday?
I'm May 30th, 86.
May 30th? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, we're
Yeah.
the same age.
Right now.
And we're climbing at the same level, too.
Yeah.
Not yet, but I see myself getting nowhere near your level.
Well, it's hard to, I mean, if you start, I would say like nothing's impossible, and if you want it bad enough, then you can definitely achieve things that will surprise you, but it's definitely easier to...
Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt. I freaking love that, Ethan. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that.
Yeah,
Seriously.
of course. I mean,
love that.
it all depends on how badly you want it, you know? And then also like the time and resources you have, of course, but
Yeah.
but I think, you know, there are a lot of examples in our sport of people who started later and still like, I was just on this trip with, you know, Matt and Taylor, and Matt and I both started when we were like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And Tay didn't start till he was 18, but he climbed his first V10 after like, you know, 6 months of climbing or something, or like a year and a half. I can't remember what he said. It was a ridiculously fast progression. And then he climbed V12 after like in his first 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was climbing with Tay was very it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I asked Tay the same question I asked you, right? I was like, hey, Tay, what's your training regimen? He's like, I climb, man. And then I asked Ethan, trying to get like this training regimen for a video, you guys. You know, and then I asked Ethan earlier, it's like, oh, we're gonna make a video about training. It's like, I don't train. I was like, actually, you know what? Can you tell us about it? Like, you don't really do hangboarding or any of that, huh?
I pretty much just climb. Yeah. I have done some stints of training, but I've never done like a full 6-week cycle.
Yeah.
Of hangboarding or board climbing or whatever. Like obviously I've done plenty of hangboarding in the last 30 years, and I've done like plenty of board climbing, and I've done some weightlifting and stuff, but I've never stuck to a schedule for as long as like one, you know, supposedly needs to have it be super impactful.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, because I'm very curious. So you've been climbing for over 30 years, right? I'm just curious to get an idea of like, when was the last time you took training seriously?
Never.
Oh, that's so cool. So there you go, guys. Never train. All those videos about training.
Useless.
No, useless.
Well, no. So I think like there's a lot of people out there who have different opinions on the usefulness of training versus like experience, you know, because like I've heard Tom Randall say, no, you can start training within your first 5 years of climbing and it'll be beneficial. And I've heard, and I guess like my personal philosophy is, sure, like having stronger fingers and having like stronger muscles can help you climb harder, but strength is never going to be, like more strength is never going to be like more beneficial than like experience and technique, ever. Like you can't, there's no amount of strength that can make up for a lack of like technique and tactics and experience. You can have like Tomoe Narasaki fingers and coordination skills, but unless you have like Tomoe's like experience and strategy and technique and all those things, you're never going to climb as hard as he does.
Yeah,
So
it's going back to skill. It's a
Yeah,
skill.
it's a skill sport, and it's also like a lot of it is strategy, and a lot of it is also just like a practice in commitment and a practice in like, you know, there's just like if you've been climbing long enough, your body can just sort of understand what to do on a variety of moves. And if you haven't, then it's like, you just don't know what you're capable of yet. And your body doesn't have that like intuition that, you know, that only years of experience can gain.
Yeah, sometimes some of us are so hard on ourselves that we're like, oh, I need to train.
Well, I think I think a lot of people view climbing through this lens of like strength. You know, strength is the most important aspect. And I think, you know, at my level, like training does benefit someone like me, because I can't really get much better. Like I have the technique, I have the experience, I know how to climb almost every type of rock or every type of move, but you know, sometimes I'm like, I am limited by strength and finger strength and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also limited by, you know, by psychological elements too, but I think probably my biggest limiting factors to climbing harder things or climbing hard things faster is strength, whereas like for most people who haven't been climbing for more than, let's say, 10 years, or who haven't been like trying really hard, like climbing for 10 years is one thing. You can go to the gym and climb routes within your comfort zone and never take falls for 10 years and never get any better. But if you're going to the gym and you're trying stuff that's hard for you, you're taking falls, you're projecting boulders, if you do that for 10 years, there's no way you're not going to get way better. And then you can be like, okay, now I need to be less injury prone. I need to have stronger muscles. I need to have stronger fingers. Like I know how to climb really hard slabs. I know how to climb cracks. Like I know how to climb a variety of different rock and disciplines and stuff. The thing that's going to make me better now is having more strength, is to having like a bigger strength margin. So but I think until you have that, like those, I mean, also like feeling strong can give you confidence, and confidence is really important in climbing. But like I said, there's just no amount of strength that can make up for
technique, skill. Yeah, it's a skill-based sport. Like you got to put in the time no matter what. No matter how strong you are, you got to put in the time on the skill. Yeah. And it's better to put the time on the skill and build up your strength as you're building up your skill, right? I'm assuming, because that's very fascinating, by the way, because a lot of people see people on the wall, like stronger climbers on the wall, and they automatically assume I need to train. I need to get stronger. They don't see it as like, no, it takes time, and the time is different for each climber, right? Because we all have different circumstances. You know, some people can climb twice a week. Some people can climb every day. Some people need a different, you know, buffer of recovery. Some of us need a day. Some of us don't need a day. Some of us need 2 days.
Well, I think even beyond that too, it's like you see people like Tay who start a little later, like still in their teenage years, but like later than Matt and I did. There's a component of their person that allows them to try really hard. Not everyone has that switch. Like a lot of people need to work really hard in order to be able to try really hard. But there are some people who have, I guess, just like a predisposition toward wanting it really bad, or like being able to turn on the try hard switch. I mean, one of the biggest differences between like expert level climbers and beginner, intermediate, advanced level climbers is that expert level climbers know, like trying hard is one of the most important skills in climbing.
Oh man.
And a lot of people just have that gear already. And a lot of people need to cultivate that gear. And so people who already have that gear, like I think I was lucky that I kind of had that gear already, and I just wanted it really bad. And I could just like turn it on and try hard. Like from the get.
So you FA'd Wet Dreams, right?
Yeah, when I was 17.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My senior year, a friend of mine who lived in Vegas basically invited me to go live with him and another friend in Summerlin.
Oh.
Yeah, like just
Okay.
right near like Charleston and then 215.
And what year was this?
2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So in 2003, I like packed up all my stuff and I basically moved into this like into this suburban home in Vegas with Rob Jensen and Seth Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know, obviously they were like much older than I was, and I was like a punk teenager, like living in their house. You know, skipping school a lot. And
Yeah.
going climbing, but basically I was like I lived in Vegas my senior year of high school just so that I could be closer to the good rocks. I sport climbed a lot at the VRG, like in the Utah Hill, in the mountains around St. George, and then of course like around Vegas and stuff, and then you know bouldering and sport climbing in Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I became friends with Tom Moulin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I remember Tom showing me some video footage that he had recorded on like a camcorder of what would become Wet Dream. Of like him and Brian Bowman and some other people trying Wet Dream, and I was like, where is this? Like, I need to go see this boulder. It looks so incredible, and like the rock is perfect, and the setting is so cool, and like, where does it start? Does it top out? And he was like, no, we just go back there and just mess around on it. We don't even try to, like, we're just trying to do moves and stuff. And so eventually he took me there. I think it was like even late April by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And but I went out there and I was like, and he basically said like they hadn't ever even considered trying to top it out before, because it was like a lot of moves and the top out was like at a height you couldn't reach.
Yeah.
But basically I went out there and I was like, this thing needs to have a sit start and it needs to top out. So I think that first session on it, like a try or two in, I linked from like the second move to the last move or something.
What?
It just fit me really well because it was like a long gym climb basically. Like
This
the
is-
holds are really good, and you know it's like a lot of like twisting body position. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a short sport climb or something. So I did super well on it, and I think I sent it in a couple of sessions. Yeah. But
Hold
yeah,
on, hold on.
2003.
So you were like, so your friend showed you on a camcorder, because there's no phones at that time.
Well, I think he had
Was there, like, cell
I think it
phones
was
at
like
that time?
it was like digitized footage on his computer, but it was taken with like a camcorder. Like
Yeah.
he was Tom made a couple like really obscure like climbing films in like the Vegas area, just shooting footage of his friends and
Okay,
stuff.
you think
But
I
there-
can
it
get
was,
some
like,
of those clips? You think I can
Probably.
get that clip from the one that he showed you?
I have the send footage.
Dude!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I can probably airdrop it to you like
Dude.
when we're done here.
Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
The first ascent footage of Wet Dream.
Yeah, yeah. My friend Rob Foster took video of it.
Come on, E. Nice. Nice. Hell yeah. Go for the glory. Nicely done. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Well, I
not-
think one thing that prevents people from trying harder is they have all of these like stories built in that they have like people just have a lot of limiting beliefs, and they think they're so convinced that they know themselves well enough to know, oh, I can't do this, or like, oh, this move that I just got to is too hard for me, so they just like give up and let go.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, you know, they have maybe a little bit more belief in like intrinsically, and they can push through those boundaries a little bit easier.
So how can I like this, because this is a lot of us, like when we tell ourselves I can't do it, and then once you say that, then the chances of you not doing it is very, very high, right? How can somebody work on that? Like what would you suggest somebody that just gives up? It's kind of like giving up easily, right? On not going back to trying hard.
I think giving up easily is like one of the things that prevents people the most from like climbing harder stuff. Yeah.
So how can you improve that?
How can you get better at trying hard? I mean, I think trying hard and like sticking with it is definitely like a practice that you can cultivate. And I would say like, if what you're doing is like going into the gym and climbing a dozen or 24 problems that you know you can do, you're probably not getting better at climbing. Like you should go into the gym and pick 2 or 3 really hard boulders or routes and just try those. Spend an hour on each problem, and like don't give up until, I mean, I think that there's something to be said for like maybe just try one. Try one problem. Like don't give up until you've reached like diminishing returns. Until your body is like no longer capable of like getting better on the moves. And then maybe try something a little easier and try something a little easier. But like, you know, I think for lead climbing it's a bit different, because a lot of the psychological barriers are like fear-based, and that is like a whole different practice, because then it's like, you know, you want to practice taking falls, you want to practice like proving to yourself that it's safe to take falls. It's safe to take falls anywhere on the climb, even low to the ground, and that's like a whole different sort of set of psychological barriers to address. But then just purely trying hard, like on boulders, safe boulders close to the ground, I mean, I think people just, you know, you suspend your disbelief and you try anyway. Like that's what I've always done. Even when I thought, oh, this is probably something that I can't do or that I can't do today or whatever, like I think I've always let my curiosity of what I'm actually capable of dictate my decisions of what to try and how much to try. And usually, I mean, I guess I'm lucky that I'm just like persistent and I don't give up.
Yeah.
And I just like, I need to, like, I'll just keep trying the same boulder until I see diminishing returns.
You know what's interesting? Even just talking to you, I can tell that when you see a boulder, you're gonna go all out. Like I feel that way with you. Just having a conversation with you, I feel that confidence of like, you know, let's get on it. Let's give it our all.
I think a lot of people probably have, like, sometimes their fear and intimidation of failure outweighs their like curiosity and their inspiration, you know? Like there's like you see an inspiring line and there's always some amount of like of inspiration and excitement and curiosity about it. But for a lot of people there's immediate intimidation. There's immediate fear of, oh, I probably can't do this. I have no business being on this. This is above one of my least favorite colloquialisms in climbing is, this is above my pay grade. I hate it when people say that. I wish people would stop saying that. It's like, just cut that out of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Also, the word can't, just cut that out. Those are just so limiting. You know, you've told yourself before you even touch the climb that you can't do it. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea if you can do a move until you've tried it 300 times. Once you've tried a move 300 times in good conditions with fresh skin and fresh muscles, then you can tell me, I don't know if I can do this move. But until you've tried it 300 times with good skin and good conditions, Don't even tell me that you can't do it. Don't even say the word can't.
It's like this saying, whether you say you can or can't, you are right.
Yeah, totally. We're completely like limited by the stories we tell ourselves about what we're capable of. That's the biggest limiting factor for everyone, is what's the story in your head about how you measure up to this challenge.
Man, Ethan, I am so freaking motivated right now. Dude, dude, come here, man. I am so freaking, I feel so motivated.
You're fired up.
I am so
Nice.
fired up.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's Wet Dreams, man? It's too far.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so fired. I love this. Yeah, that's.
I think about this a lot. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I see it so much. I see it so much, especially with like, I mean, every community has their own version of what like their limiting beliefs look like and sound like, but I think especially for like newer climbers and people who predominantly boulder, there's this like fixation on strength, there's this fixation on like numbers and grades and stuff, and I think like all those comparisons and all those like qualifications and quantifications that we use to potentially compare ourselves to whatever we think we can or can't do, like they're so in charge of like how hard we're willing to try and how much we're willing to put ourselves out there. And it's just like, oh my God, like we would be so much better off without all these comparisons and grades and qualifications, but people have to put themselves in a box, and everyone else, they have to put themselves and everyone else in a box, and all the rocks with the names and the numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what would happen if we just didn't have grades? What would happen if people had to look at a climb and think critically about the moves and how it looks and if there was no one else around? Also, like, sometimes you roll up to a boulder with a big group, and it's like, oh, these people in the group are allowed to try this, but I'm not, because I can't be seen struggling or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that limits you.
For sure, yeah. I think
Yeah.
people are afraid to be vulnerable in that way, like in front of other people.
See, one thing that I'm learning is that there's so many things that as climbers we need to work on. We're so focused on finger strength, but what we're discussing right now is completely different than finger strength, than training, than how to bench, than how to do this. No, you're talking about something that I don't care how strong you are. If you're too afraid of failing in front of people, you're not gonna get better.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're only ever climbing in front of other people, then yeah.
This conversation happened a few months ago, you guys. Few months ago. Right after this conversation, I was so excited, as you could see. I went straight to skill-based training. I started climbing outdoors specifically a lot, and it's helped me so much in my climbing. I got to send some of my projects. I noticed a drastic change in my climbing. It's crazy what it does to you, like, I really hope you guys are feeling this fire as well, because I know it's going to help you with your climbing as well. Damn it, Ethan, thank you so much, man. Also, you guys, I have a new project I can't wait to share with you guys called Jabberwocky. Making progress, but man, this is a beautiful line. I can't wait to share with you guys the progress. You guys, if you would love to support the work, if you find this useful or helpful in any way and would like to support the work, please consider grab yourself a pair of rockentry drones 2.0. This is the collaboration I did with my favorite brand, Mad Rock, with my favorite shoe. I've been using these shoes for years. And yeah, if you would like to get a pair, a few sizes have gone out of stock, so be sure to get your shoe size because they're running low.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ethan, you have any questions for me? Man.
I don't know. Like, what are your like dream projects? What are your most intimidating goals? I guess.
Oh, I love this because I'm like,
Wet dream.
it's wet dream.
Uh-huh.
It's very intimidating for me.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I'm gonna make it my goal.
Okay. Nice. Cheers.
Cheers. Because I feel, look, Ethan, you know what? I'm putting this right now. I swear to you, Ethan, I'm gonna be working on wet dreams, and in my lifetime, I will send it.
Okay. Nice. I believe you.
Really?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited. Talk about intimidation, right?
Uh-huh.
When I saw that boulder, to be honest, I was like, I can see myself sending other V12s, but this one, it's scary, man. I've seen people fly off of it from the top and miss the pad. And I'm like, oh man, but the movement and the boulder, everything is so beautiful about it. Dude, congrats on that, by the way. Like, that's huge.
Thanks.
And,
It was just right place at the right time.
yeah, but yes, I'm gonna make it my lifetime goal for sure, to send wedges.
Nice. Okay. Wow. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Watch me edit it out.
Well, if you need a training plan, I can help you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ethan. Oh, dude, we just met, and we're over here, you know.
All right. It's happening now.
It's happening now, so we're
Starting now.
starting now, right? Damn, Ethan, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, of course.
Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope you
My
enjoyed
pleasure.
this conversation.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel inspired too.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. I feel inspired, and I hope you guys feel inspired. But yes, you guys, this is Ethan Pringle, man. Seriously. Ethan, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ozzy.
Yeah, and
I'll see you in Black Velvet.
Black Velvet. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye. That was awesome, Ethan. That was freaking awesome.